Today we're going to show you how to clean your carburetor. It's very simple. All you need is a few tools. A Phillips screwdriver, a pair of pliers, and a 10mm socket. And you'll need some carburetor cleaner that you can get at a hardware store or any auto parts store. The first step is to turn the fuel off. It's located directly under the tank right above the motor. Now the fuel is turned off, we're ready to start the process of removing the carburetor and cleaning it. To remove the airbox cover. Okay, as the cover's off, you notice there's two bolts that hold the airbox itself on. Take your 10mm wrench, pull your base of your airbox off. I like to kind of just set it out of the way. It can hang, it's not a problem. Now the fuel is cut off. Let's take a pair of pliers, and there's a clamp that actually holds the fuel line on. Take your pliers, now you can gently pull your gas line off. Now you have access to your carburetor. Take your carburetor, slide it off. As you see, it has a connecting rod here with a spring. It's very simple. Just take your fingers, pull the spring off, and take the connecting rod, and now you have the carburetor in your hand. When working on the carburetor, I just like to have a nice table with some rags. It just makes it so easier to keep up with everything. Take your 10mm socket or wrench, loosen up the bottom bowl bolt. Now you have the float bowl in your hand. Now you can see that we need to remove the pin. That's right here in this jet, the main jet, and in the seat is where most of the buildup is at. Pull the pin out, slide this off. As you can see, right here is our seat. Take your cleaner, clean your carburetor. You can see it's very simple, very simple. Get all the excess out of the carburetor, and now you're ready to assemble your carburetor. Now that the carburetor is clean, it's time to reassemble. Take the float bowl and the seat, make sure it lines up in its channel correctly. Set it in. I like to set it on the table to hold it. Make sure the pin is lined up properly and slides right in there. I like to have the pin to stay in the center, so when you take the float bowl, you can set it right on there. Take the bolt, go into the carburetor. Take your 10mm wrench or socket, tighten it up. Now that the carburetor is clean and reassembled, it's time to mount back on the generator. First step is go to the connecting rod and then also the spring. With that connected, bring the carburetor over and pull it and slide it right onto the studs. Now that your carburetor is properly installed, it's time to mount the airbox. But one important thing is do not forget this gasket. The gasket goes on the carburetor. Take your airbox. It goes onto the studs where the carburetor went. You have the bracket that holds the studs on. The two nuts. Take your 10mm ratchet. Now it's time to reinstall your air filter and cover. Put your air filter in. It's got some troughs that hold it in. Your cover slides right in there. Take your Phillips screwdriver. The final step is to cut your fuel on. And if you have any further questions, please give us a call at our customer service department.